very important thing you need to understand from the very first time you go onto the polo field to play in a chukker, a game, is you cannot expect to have the ball all the time. In fact, if you have a really good day, you should be with the ball no more than 25% of the time. Why? 4 players, divide 100 into 4 is 25. To be able to behave at your best in that 25, you need to have been very clever during the 75% when you're not with the ball. How can you keep yourself occupied in the 75%? It's really by watching your own players first, second, watching the players of the other team, and thirdly, watching what the ball is doing. Now most people, until they're taught, do the opposite. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? They fly, they're already on the way to the ball, they're wrong. Because there are 2 other players in their team who are closer. Or even in some cases, you're the closest in your team, but somebody in the other team is going to get there first. So going after the ball is going to be a waste of time until he's hit it. Other times, it'll be worth it, which will be explained later, how you discern whether it is. But it is not a given that you go for the ball. In fact, it's the very opposite. And the only way that you could, what you actually need to try to think to do, is to make the ball chase you instead of you chasing the ball. That sounds crazy, and lots of people, when I say it to them, they say, how can that happen? How can it? And once you know it, it really is simple. Especially when you're a beginner. If you chase the ball, when you get there, it's gone, without fail. To see where your team are, where the opposition are, where the ball is, you obviously have to look, and to look very thoroughly. Sometimes 360 degrees around you, in front of you, behind you, and everything. From what you see, you adjust. And you adjust your movements. You can break it down to many ones. The 3 main ones would be the distances from the other players, the speed you're going, and the direction you're going. And then you do all that first to your own team, and particularly to your own best player. Because we have this disparity of skills that comes in the game, and normally there's one player much better than the others in your team. Not always, you can be equal, but normally you'll find that's what happens. And obviously, why is he the best player, he or she? Because their anticipation is better than anybody else. Therefore, you can draw from them by matching what they're doing, your own movements. Not going to muddle them, but working off them, which is part of what we call playmaking. When you're attached to your team, that shows you who is the relevant opponent for you to take on. If you just think, oh, there's the opponent, he's mine, he actually may belong to somebody else at that moment, and you'll be muddled. But once you've really taken in where you are in relation to your team, it should be very much easier for you to take on who that opponent is. And whether you actually go immediately to be physically in contact is a decision that you have to take the whole time you're playing. And when in doubt, go and close them. If there's nothing better to do, go and close them. Because then, once you close them, they can't leave you, you can leave them. But once they've closed you, you can't get out, but they can leave you. So that is we call the engaging. So you've looked, you've adjusted your speed, distance, direction. You found your team and to complete your adjustment. And now you found your opponent and you've engaged him either mentally, I can see you, or physically, or both together. And you can keep changing doing that. And then, the most really important of all the first 4 will be wasted if you do not try to anticipate the ball changing direction. The most people in polo, they're apt to have this thought process going through their head. They're saying, there's the ball. He's going to pass it. Where's he going to pass it? Oh, he has. Where's it? Oh, it's and then they go. When they should say, he's going to hit the ball over to my right, I'm turning right. Now he's hit the ball. Now you're already on your way before he hits. And if he hits it the other way to the left, you haven't lost much because you're very mobile, but all the others, the look, the adjust, finding your team and finding your opponents will all be wasted if you're always turning after the ball turns. And let's get rid of one ridiculous question that people will ask me all the time is, what happens if he misses? And the answer is, you adjust. It is much better for him to miss and you adjust than for them to hit and you have not turned